Hi, I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. It is Tuesday, January 9th, and we are here in middle of Maine expecting another snowstorm. And only last big storm we had was about a week before Christmas, 18th of December. And those storms are fine. The bees are absolutely fine as long as the tree doesn't fall on the hives or the tops don't blow off. But our houses need electricity. And here in Maine, in Hamden, on this particular road, we lost electricity for 6 days during December. All the kids arrived for Christmas and that sort of thing. Fortunately, just before Christmas Eve, lights came back on, and so that was fine in the end. But for 6 days there, normally I would have thought I'd be okay. I've got a generator, but it's been a while since we've used the generator and checked it. And of course, when it came time to use the generator, found the fuel lines had all rotted out and that sort of thing. And so fortunately, I still had a little generator for my work with oxalic acid in my outyards, so I could still run 2 AC outlets. And so I was able to run the sump pump or the heat or the refrigerator or the sump pump again, or heat up the barn to stop that freezing and then move it around. So apart from refueling every 6 to 8 hours and moving plugs around all over the place, we got by okay. But still, we've got another one of those storms arriving tonight, which is supposed to be something like 5 inches of snow, and then followed by a strong wind. We didn't have the snow last time, but we had some very strong wind and lots of rain. So by the time, a few hours after the power had gone out, I looked in the cellar, there was 3 inches of water in my cellar already. So important to keep that sump pump running. So forewarned, I got away lightly last time, albeit inconvenient. So 4 on this time. The generator is fixed, so we can run a lot more stuff. And I've got my second generator for fallback. It's funny, that little generator was only meant to be used about 8 to 10 hours a year. And I used it for 6 days, almost non-stop. So it owes me nothing. In the meantime, my business partner, Amy, is on her way to a vacation. And so I will be working here and keeping an eye on things. In particular, what we have been working on together the last few weeks is getting ready for a major winter workshop, like an introduction to beekeeping workshop that we've been working on. It's over the last few years, we've done a few of these, and we've evolved it as we've gone along. And we've got people attending from all over North America, Canada, and the United States. Who knows, maybe this year we'll have people joining us from further afield. What we're doing in this introduction to beekeepers is mainly aimed at newbies, people who are thinking about starting with bees, that don't really know where to start, and are thinking about it. So this workshop is going to cover the whole range of topics that a beekeeper should consider before getting started. It's not like a full beginner's beekeeping class. It's a sort of an introduction to beginner's beekeeping. And so over February 5th and 6th, Amy and I have pre-recorded a couple of videos that are going to go through everything from what you could expect to pay, how you would get equipment, where you would get it, how you just more or less assemble your equipment, where to locate hives, how much sun they should get, how much time you'd need to spend on bees, where you're going to put them in your yard, how you're going to feed them, what you're going to feed them, when you're going to feed them, and then your basics on care through the summer, particularly mite treatments, and then how you're going to prepare them for the winter, and if you get some honey, what you do with that. So that would just give people an idea. It's the way that Amy, our method of teaching is keeping it relatively simple, narrowing down the field. There's a lot of ways to successfully keep bees all over the place, but there's a few basics that work really well for us, which can be applied just about anywhere. And granted, there's some big differences from one location to another. The basics that we teach is this is the way we successfully keep our bees and have been doing so for quite a few years. And what's more is we will hold their hand through the process of keeping their bees as well. So if they join the workshop and then decide to join us on our membership group, Beekeeping 24/7, we can then give them the more detailed beekeeping classes, go into much more detail with 12 beginner videos. And those beginner videos will cover the full range in much more detail. And then we've got the support, where Amy and I will answer all their questions on a continuous basis, basically an online mentor all the time. In addition to that, we make videos and question and answer sessions and record those for people to watch again and again. And unlike a beginner class where you can go and you see it once and then you hopefully remember it when it comes time to actually use it, with this membership group, they can be watching it again and again and again and refer back to it and that sort of thing. So we develop a library for them and organize it so that they can find the information and go back to this. And granted, you could find this on a lot of different YouTube channels and that sort of thing if you knew what to search for. And if one person's method of beekeeping didn't conflict with another person's way of beekeeping, we keep them in the way that works for us. And so we've been having a lot of fun with this group. It's called Beekeeping 24/7. You've heard me talk about it plenty of times. But it's working out really, really well. We've got members from Canada and all over the United States. And hopefully we will have many hundreds of people attending this workshop. And hopefully quite a few of those will be joining us on Beekeeping 24/7 too. That workshop again will run on the pre-recorded parts are February 5th and 6th. And then we have two live sessions on February 7th and 9th, where Amy and I will be fielding the questions as a result of those videos, and also talking bees generally, and giving them more information on all sorts of things, including Beekeeping 24/7. So today, what I'm going to go around out in the yard, just make sure that everything's ship-shape. I've stopped by a few of my yards, and I only found one yard where one of the lids had blown off my hives the last time. Right now, there's not a lot we can do with our bees, although we've had a pretty warm winter as winters go so far. The bees have had a fair few flying days, but typically it's been in the low 30s, so there's been very little flying, which is good. It hasn't got particularly cold. It's got down into the teens plenty of times, but as far as beekeeping goes, for us here, that's not cold. Cold is sub-zero Fahrenheit, so minus 20 something or more centigrade. So we have had a fairly mild winter, so I'd say food consumption would be on average. A good friend of mine's been sending me information on what he's finding in terms, he's got hive scales, and he's persuaded me I do have to buy myself some hive scales this year, which I will be doing because the information is just so intriguing. And just watching his weights go down, a couple of his hives, typically it's between 1/4 of a pound and 1/3 of a pound every day. And so a little less, roughly, give or take 1/2 pound, 2 pounds a week, the hives are consuming. And so we've got to get through roughly 20 weeks or so with that. Hence, we need 40 or more pounds of honey to get through the winter. It has to be positioned right because not all of it's going to get used. And of course, in the spring, you could expect to see that honey consumption go up very rapidly as the population grows. So this will also be very useful. I'm planning to get hold of some of those gadgets and a few other gadgets this year, which I hope to make viewing much more interesting on my videos. If you have some suggestions, by all means, send in information in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it. In the meantime, I suppose now I better nip outside, just double check things. I think the only hassle I had bee-wise last storm was I have a lot of nuke boxes stored outside, stacked up high, and the wind just got that strong that it did blow over some of them, blew them all over the yard. So I've got old tires and pallets on top of them. Hopefully they won't. Hopefully they won't blow all over the yard again, because once they get into the snow, they're going to probably freeze there. So I'd like to avoid that. So that's it for now. Hope your winters are going well. Hope those of you that have attended those bee conferences have had a great time. I'd love to hear more about them. Maybe next year I'll get a chance to get down into Tennessee and, or was it Kentucky? Get down south anyway, and fight through the snow to get down there and see how things are going in the rest of the world. I'm Peter Cowan, the Bee Whisperer. See you next time.